Today we'll do the practice together. The screencast will walk you through the first few items. You'll be encouraged to follow along with the first few and make these marks and notes on your own assignment document. Then try a few of them by pausing the video and getting some feedback on your work, and then trying the rest on your own to be discussed or shared with your teacher at a later point. Let's take a look at what we're being asked to do. So first thing we're going to do is, number one, we always find all the verbs. Whether they're helping verbs, whatever word we think might be a verb, we're going to highlight that verb. Okay? If it's a main verb, if it's the verb at the end of a series of verbs, a series of words we highlight, we're going to label that main verb, the one at the end of that series, as present, past, present participle, or past participle. You can choose to abbreviate, you can choose to type out the whole word. Either way, we want to label that verb part, the main verb part. We're also going to underline and label the helping verbs as HV. We want to get used to the idea of identifying those helping verbs. That'll help us make sure we're using the correct verb tense. It'll also help us ensure that we have a correct agreement between the subjects and the verbs when we use our helping verbs correctly. We can't use them correctly if we can't identify what they are to begin with. Let's do a few of these together. Number one was already filled in on your notes page for you. The sentence reads, some critics are saying that this will be the best winter ever for movies. So INGs are pretty commonly feeling confident that those are verbs, and they are. Again, the helping verb are is in front of it. Again, we've got our list in our notes of common helping verbs. We're going to look for these words too. You have the list in your notes so you can refer back to it. That's why it's one page. You can scroll up a little bit to see it, or you also can go view split screen to take a look at that at the same time. Will be. Be is definitely going to be a verb, and will is always a helping verb when it's in front of another verb. So those are the ones that are the verbs in a sentence. Saying is at the end of the group, so it's present participle. So if you want to type in present participle, you can. Or you can leave it as pres part if you're okay with the abbreviation. And are is the helping verb. Again, when you have that main verb at the end, everything in front of it's going to be a helping verb. So we underline are and label it HB. Between will be is the present form by itself, but will is that helping verb in front of it. So be is present, and will we underline and label HV. Let's look at number two. The excitement for the next Star Wars film is building each week. Looking for verbs, we find those INGs, and we look always right in front of those to see is another helping verb there with it as well. So forms of is, am, are, was, were, forms of be, plus ing, those are going to be verbs. INGs, as we check our stuff out, our notes, again, you filled in yesterday, that the present participles, ing, pretty easy, straightforward. We're going to get used to saying that. And then is, because it's in front of that present participle, in front of that main verb, helping verb. Number three, others have been looking forward to the next Disney animated film. Okay, then we get ing, so we're definitely going to see that. Look in front of it. Been can also be one. We saw that in an example on the slides yesterday. And have. What else? Well, the word animated. Animated is a verb. It's an ed form, that counts as well. Again, when we have ing, I think if you'd rather go just abbreviate, that's fine. If this is really new for you, you might want to type out the whole word. Have been looking, so we have been is a helping verb, and have is also a helping verb. Have we also have on our list. We also know that's going to be a present. So if you don't have that, that's a little bit tricky, but at the very least, it's a helping verb. And been, as we did in our slides as well, it's a helping verb because it's in front of the ing. And it also happens to be a past participle. Animated, ed. The question is it past or past participle? Well, let me ask you this. One, we know it's a verb, so we already have a victory in finding that part of it. I'm going to tell you right now this one's past participle, and here's why. In this case, the sentence does not say that Disney animated a film. So it's not an action verb here. Animated here is actually describing what kind of film it is. It could be a live action, it could be animated. When you use a verb to describe something, almost always you're looking at that being a past participle. So when you see that ed, but is it describing something, then you want to label it past participle. I'm not too concerned about you nailing that one. I'm more interested in getting present participles and past participles and helping verbs when you have a whole phrase. But it does remind you that later on, we'll look for opportunities to identify different types of verbs used as other parts of speech. All right, I'm going to encourage you, we did 3 together. I'm going to encourage you to hit the pause button now. Take a minute and do as much as you can for sentence number 4. When you're done with that minute, restart the video and I'll show you what's there. Go ahead and stop the video now. And you're back. Let's see what you did for number 4. A few have complained about so few movies appealing to the whole family. So we've got, again, ed, and we have that have in front of it. We're going to start with that main verb that we find, and we're going to keep moving forward until we run out of verbs. Appealing, we know ing words are going to be verbs too. You can do these in either order you want, but we know anytime you have ing, that's present participle. Complained. Well, is it past or past participle? Well, in this case, again, there's a helping verb in front of it, so it's past participle. We just said we've got a helping verb. Have is a helping verb, and again, it's also present, but I'm okay if all you do is label the helping verbs as helping verbs for now. Let's do one more with the guided practice. Go ahead, hit the pause button one more time and try number 5 on your own. This time, take 90 seconds and see how much you can find of that one on your own. Then restart the video and I'll show you what the correct answer is. All right, let's take a look at 5. What did you find? Yep, will be released. That's all part of the verb phrase. And again, if it's easier to do this way, we'll underline, because again, all the verbs leading up to it are going to be helping verbs. Not ultraviolet light. That main verb, again, we have that ed, but it has helping verbs in front of it. So we're going to go with past participle. Again, as we're going through these, present participle should be the easiest one you have. It's ing. That should be the easiest one to spot in a sentence. It's the easiest one to label. When you have ed, that's going to be trickier. Is that past or is that past participle? Well, are there helping verbs for it? Usually, then it's going to be past participle. The other exception why it might be a past participle is if it's a describing word. And truthfully, I pointed out to you because it's the correct form in the sentence. In number 3, I'm really not too worried about it. And then you keep finding your helping verbs. Go ahead, stop the video here. Do 6 through 10 to the best of your abilities. Email your teacher with questions or wait till that time the teacher is going to go through them with you. It could be later this class session. It could be your next class session. But give it your best. If you're allowed to collaborate, you are strongly encouraged to work with one or more of your classmates to go through these. But make sure you give yourselves some time to pause and try this on your own to see what you can truly do. Good hunting.